This short film will aim to understand women's representation in Hollywood films, focusing on physical and emotional stereotypes women face when playing roles in Hollywood films, and how this reflects in modern society, focusing on how women and men are misled false representations of the ideal woman. Within this short film, I will focus on how leading female roles in Hollywood must fit to a male ideology of what an attractive woman is, as well as arguing the lack of leading female roles in Hollywood films. Most stereotypical female roles include characters being physically attractive, and in most cases the character's knowledge is not the focal point of the film. I will aim to understand feminist views on how Hollywood falsely represents women, focusing on how male directors create sex symbols, focusing on physical beauty and emotional dependency on men within film plots. I'll base my points on characters from DC and Marvel films to understand how the leading female characters are sexualized by their revealing clothing and stereotypical attractive bodies. To fully understand how Hollywood films create stigma around women and equality within society, I will look how leading Hollywood films are constructed by male directors and how this influences the Hollywood film. Another key aspect I will be researching is emotions. Throughout history, women have been deemed as emotional and dependent on men for support. Within Hollywood films, such as Disney films, women are portrayed as damsels in distress, thus suggesting women cannot live independently within society. I will use a feminine critique to understand the origin of social differentiation and social stratification within society, arguing Huber's theory on how sex is intertwined within society to be unequal. Therefore, Hollywood films are produced to normalise this inequality in society. I will further aim to understand if the lack of female roles in films produces the underrepresentation that women are deemed less important in society than men. I will compare this hypothesis by analysing how male directors produce Hollywood films with particular roles which impact their casting. As someone who watches Hollywood films, I have analysed how physically thin actors are casted primarily, which can promote a potential unhealthy body image within young girls. Male directors take up most of the directing roles behind the camera in Hollywood films. I want to understand if this influences typecasting within female roles, thus causing misrepresentation. It is important to use full colour to increase aesthetic within my short film, to mimic the creativity of Hollywood. I will pre-record my voice in the background as well as using existing clips from Hollywood films to create aesthetics and to construct the short film in the style of a Hollywood film. It is important to use primary and secondary sources in my short film to add detail and to help the audience understand the topic, as well as helping the film's aesthetic by using clips from specific Hollywood films to understand in-depth distortion of female representation. I will use two primary interviews within my short film, using a video camera stationed on a tripod with a dead cat to allow both clarity in image and in recording. The interviews I carry out will resemble those of actors within Hollywood films. I hope this will add a professional finish to the interview, as well as being useful in capturing realistic social concerns surrounding how Hollywood influences men and women within society. The use of semi-structured interviews will allow in-depth data collection. Topics I will ask will be based on Hollywood body image effects on participants and whether Hollywood creates a correct representation of women. Hollywood has been known to underrepresent female ethnic minorities within films. I aim to understand the further effects within society by looking at the range of leading Hollywood roles in Hollywood films. I must consider ethics during my production of my film. I will ensure that clips I take are from existing Hollywood films or from legal websites to ensure that I do not copyright the film or use any illegal web pages to obtain my information. It is important to ensure that within my voice recordings, I do not talk about topics which could be offensive or triggering to a mental health problem or physical health problem. I ensure this by writing a script before I record my own voice to cross-check the script before recording it. Consent is particularly important within my interviews. I will ensure that individuals within my interviews both give verbal and written consent that they want to be recorded. This ensures that the qualitative research I gather is trustworthy and has been obtained through ethical consideration. While editing, I will use a program I bought called VideoPed Video Editor. This program allows me to use multimedia simultaneously, helping me to create and edit clips and music together in my recording. Thank you for watching my storyboard on women's representation in Hollywood films, aiming to understand Hollywood's sexualization of women and normalize inequalities within Hollywood.